Bibi Netanyahu has been on this tour of right-wing podcasters. He has been going on, the Nelk boys, and then going on with, people like Theo Vaughn and the like. And he is using those people to help spread his propaganda. Now, there are quite a few people on the right who do not like Bibi Netanyahu very much. People like Tucker Carlson, people like Candace, Owens, who are huge in the right-wing podcaster sphere. A lot of conservatives really like listening to them. Of course, I have a problem with both Candace and Tucker Carlson for different reasons, but they have been going pretty hard on Bibi Netanyahu, and it's kind of upset the old man. He recently, because he thinks he's very clever, he's come up with a new name for right-wingers who criticize him. He calls them the woke Reich. The reason why right-wingers are criticizing Bibi Netanyahu and Israel is not because of the genocide that they're doing. They don't really care about the Palestinian people. What they care about is that we are using taxpayer funds to help fund their military. I get upset about that, but I also get upset about the Palestinians. Ultimately, conservatives are more concerned with just tax dollars, and they're hyper-nationalists, and they want that money to stay here. And I would think that that would be a good argument if we were actually using that money that we're not spending on foreign adventures and spending it on the people at home. But right-wingers want to give that money to wealthy billionaire types in the form of tax cuts. But sorry, I digress. Anyway, Bibi Netanyahu thinks he's really clever.
And he said, I call it the woke Reich. That's a brilliant observation. The woke Reich, because these people, they're not any different from the woke left. I mean, they're insane. They're loonies. But they're actually meeting on some of the things. And what we have to do is we have to secure that part of the base of our support in the United States. That is being challenged systematically. A lot of this is done with money. Money of NGOs, vast. Money of governments, vaster. Okay? We have to fight back.
He also says quite a few other things, and Tucker Carlson actually has something to say to Bibi in response to being called the woke Reich. And Tucker is not holding back. Like I said, not a fan of Tucker Carlson whatsoever. But watching him cut into Bibi Netanyahu is pretty entertaining, especially considering that Bibi is the world's modern day Hitler.
But there are a bunch of Israeli Defense Force officers in the Pentagon that week. And during that week, ask anyone who works at the Pentagon, they enraged American Pentagon staff by just barging into meetings, giving orders, making demands. And nobody did anything about it. How can a foreign military officer barge into military headquarters, even if invited, but barge into a meeting and start demanding, we want this, we want that, you need to get on this? Huh? The more you allow that kind of deeply unhealthy behavior, the more you're going to get. And that's exactly what has happened. Because of the weakness of our leaders, we have incited predators in a foreign country to take advantage of us. Oh, that's such an anti-Israel thing to say. It's not anti-Israel at all. It's a demand that the people whose job it is, whose sacred duty it is to defend and represent us, our leaders, both at the Pentagon and all throughout the U.S. government, that they do that they stand up and defend us against all potential threats, against all foreign countries to the extent they need to, and that they do not prostrate themselves before a foreign nation. That's just basic. Why have a government, especially a strong government, if it's taking orders from another weaker government? And that is the state of play.
I mean, basically what he's saying is that Bibi Netanyahu is playing Donald Trump, which is not that difficult. All you got to do is flatter him a little bit and tell him how great he is, which Bibi is very good at that. He's very good at flattering Donald Trump and telling him how big and strong and wonderful he is. And immediately Donald Trump's like, great, I love this guy. What do you need? Do you need some more bombs? You need some more money?
And it has been for a very long time. And they're not even pretending, to such an extent that the prime minister of Israel goes on television to openly participate in, meddle in internal American politics, taking sides, attacking people, Americans. You wouldn't think it would be his business. He's not an American leader. He's not even an American citizen. Going on television to attack Americans because they're not fully on board with sending billions more to a country of 9 million people? And in case you think that's an overstatement, here is the Prime Minister of Israel.
Yeah, like I said, they don't really care about the genocide. They don't really care about the Palestinian lives. They just care about the amount of money that gets sent over there.
Benjamin Netanyahu commenting on American politics.
He talked about the woke right, and he said, I call it the woke Reich. That's a brilliant observation. The woke Reich. Because
Don't break
these
your
people,
arm patting yourself on the
they're
back.
not any different from the woke left. I mean, they're insane. They're the reason.
I love the fact that a foreign prime minister who doesn't even understand the context of what woke means, it's been so bastardized by the right wing, and now it's matriculated into this dipshit's mouth. Woke, like he knows what the fuck it means.
But they're actually meeting on some of the things. We have to fight back. How do we fight back? Our influencers. I think you should also talk to them if you have a chance.
Which he has been talking to a lot of influencers, going on podcasts and spreading bullshit ass propaganda. He's been doing it. He's been trying his damnedest to help poison the well here at home.
To that community, they're very important. And secondly, we're going to have to use the tools of battle. And the most important ones are in social media. And the most important purchase that is going on right now is
Followers. Five followers.
TikTok.
TikTok. Talking about the sale of TikTok. The ByteDance, I believe is the name of the company that owns TikTok. Donald Trump and co. are forcing them to sell their major share of ByteDance. TikTok is very popular. Many, many people on the right and the left use TikTok. And lots of liberals, especially at the beginning of the siege on Gaza and all of the genocidal shit that Israel is doing, it got on TikTok. A lot of young people were spreading all of the video footage coming out of Gaza by people in Gaza, and they were putting it on TikTok. And Bibi Netanyahu fucking hates that shit, and a lot of Israeli supporters hate that shit. So they managed to get into Donald Trump's ear, and now they are forcing ByteDance to sell the majority of their shares to American oligarchs. So I love the argument from the right wing. They're always saying, oh, we can't have foreign government spying on you. Meanwhile, American companies are spying on us. They're selling our information to everybody. It's not like China can't go online and buy that shit directly from Facebook or Insta or X. I mean, shit. Elon Musk did a deal with China. He has got his battery technology, trying to sell his cars and his battery technology in China. He's got to deal with them. It's not like these wealthy billionaire oligarchs have any loyalty to America. They are just here to accrue more capital. They don't care about anything else.
TikTok, number one. And I hope it goes through because it can be consequential. And the other one, what's the other one that's most important? X. That's very good.
Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure that Elon Musk and Twitter are already on Israel's side, even though he has said some dumbass shit in the past about Jewish people. Conflating Jewish people and the Israeli government are two different things. Being a Jewish person practicing Judaism is not the same thing as being a fucking racist Zionist and a genocidal government in the Likud party. I could criticize Israel all the live long day. I could criticize Bibi and the Likud party all I want to. And there will always be somebody that tells me that I am anti-Semitic for criticizing the genocide that they're doing. And Bibi Netanyahu, he's doing everything he can to hide the fact that he is doing this genocide.
And, so we have to talk to Elon. He's not an enemy. He's a friend. We should talk to him. Now, if we can get those two things, we get a lot, and I could go on other things, but that's not the point.
And I can go and spread the propaganda and make sure that the Israeli offensive force, we can continue to do what we want to do. Now, to go on that same vein, Trump approves the TikTok deal through an executive order. Vance says business valued at $14 billion. And he is selling it to a very wealthy oligarch. President Donald Trump on Thursday signed an executive order approving a proposal that would keep TikTok alive in the U.S. in a transaction that Vice President J.D. Vance said values the business at $14 billion. Now, of course, J.D. Vance, he is bought and paid for by Peter Thiel. So when Donald Trump kicks the bucket, we look forward to President Peter Thiel, because that'll be J.D. Vance's Elon Musk. How Donald Trump had Elon Musk in the White House. Now J.D. Vance is going to have Peter Thiel. J.D. Vance is the Silicon Valley presidential candidate. The deal satisfies the requirement of national security law requiring China-based ByteDance to sell TikTok's U.S. operations or face an effective ban in the country, according to the executive order. Under the terms which China must still approve, new joint venture company will oversee TikTok's U.S. business with ByteDance, retaining less than 20% of the stake. And who is he selling it to? Under the planned arrangement, Oracle will oversee the app security operations and continue providing cloud computing services for the new TikTok U.S. firm. Faber reported, citing sources familiar with the deal. Trump said Oracle CEO Larry Ellison, who is now currently the richest man in the world, he and his son just brokered the deal with Donald Trump and the FCC to buy Skydance, and that is for his son David to run. And that includes Disney and CBS. So now Larry Ellison, who not only owns Oracle, who's a wealthy billionaire himself, but now owns Skydance, and also now he is looking further down the road and he wants to buy Time Warner, which owns CNN. So when I talk about oligarchy and I talk about monopoly, this is what I'm talking about. When we used to have 50 media companies, it was much harder to oppress any free speech, because you can't oppress one of them without oppressing all of them. And when you're having to go after 50 different companies, it makes it much more difficult. But if you can whittle that down to 4 or 5 major players, like Larry Ellison, like Elon Musk, like Jeff Zuckerberg, you can pull them all in a room, and Donald Trump can lay down the law and say, this is what I want. I want a piece of the action, and I want you to fire all of the people that I don't like. That way it would cut back on free speech rights. It would chill other people from saying anything that would offend the dear leader. And these guys, they're just here to make the money. They don't really give a shit. And they want their mergers so they can consolidate more cash, more money. And whatever Donald Trump wants, they just give it to him. Just give it to him. So we got Larry Ellison over here, the richest man in the world. He's saying, hey, what can you do for me about this merger with Time Warner that I got coming up here? So I wanted to touch on that as well. New Paramount owner, who, like I said, Paramount is the parent company for ABC, which is the reason why Stephen Colbert got his ass canned. It was the icing on top, the placating to the dear leader, giving Donald Trump what he wanted. Now he's got his eyes on Warner Brothers, which owns CNN. So all of the major media places out there are owned by wealthy, conservative, multi-billionaires who are very morally flexible, and they want to consolidate more and more wealth and be bigger monopolists. And Donald Trump is the only one that can approve these mergers. And obviously, he's a big fan of Larry Ellison. Larry Ellison is a big donor to Donald Trump because he knew that Donald Trump was going to be in charge of making sure that he could get these mergers approved. Donald Trump's FCC chair, Brendan Carr, is very flexible when it comes to his morality and is perfectly willing to throw anybody under the bus that he sees fit that makes Donald Trump happy, including Jimmy Kimmel, which we all saw how that played out. Anyway, so Larry Ellison is looking to buy Time Warner, and that is the parent company for CNN, and that is going to be a problem, folks. It is a huge fucking problem. So when you've got Bibi Netanyahu out there talking about, we have got to do something about shutting down the speech in America because they are saying bad things about Israel and about me. So what we need to do is we need to call Elon Musk. And what we need to do is we need to get rid of TikTok. Shut down all of the speech that is on TikTok that is saying bad things about me. And he's playing Donald Trump. He's playing to these right-wing influencers out there. He's trying everything he can to throw as much money their way, which, by the way, the money comes from us. It's our own fucking tax dollars. Israel has free education, college education. Israel has free healthcare. We don't. And yet we continue to send them billions and billions and billions of dollars to help fund their military. Now, of course, Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, they don't want that money to go over there because America first or whatever the fuck. I care about that money being spent at home as well, but I also care about the genocide that they're doing and the Palestinian people. But the more and more Donald Trump allows these big mergers to go through and these big oligarchs to continue to buy up our media sites, that will continue to make less speech for us. On Twitter right now, there's nothing on there but right-wingers and bots. And the bots are right-wingers. On Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg has completely cucked himself to Donald Trump. When he had that little meeting at the White House a couple of weeks ago, and he leans over to Donald Trump and he says, "Did I do okay? Was that okay?" And Donald Trump gives him a pat on the back. "You did great, bud. You did great." So he's in the cuck chair for Donald Trump. He's all bought and paid for. And you got Larry Ellison buying up all of the media companies that he wants to. And Donald Trump is just letting him do it. Letting him do all the mergers that he can get his hands on. We're going to consolidate power into a handful of people. And then Donald Trump is going to shut down as much speech as he wants to. And there will be nobody there to stop him because they're all there to make profit. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed what you saw, please like and subscribe. Keep rocking.